Just imagine this partition is ours. Hi guys, so welcome to day 5, Hanway Collective. We end with the fantastic Shannon Thompson, and luckily we live in the same house, so we can overcome this technical difficulty. Just wait for a few more of you to pop on as we're live now and we've messed around a little bit. And then we'll crack on. Cool. Hi Vivek.
Hi guys.
Hi Adi. Thanks for coming back.
Running all over the house.
This is just best. Hi guys. Okay, so it's not to waste more of this wonderful hour or two, who knows. If we start with a basic introduction from you, and then let's carry on.
Well, basically, I'm a South African artist and photographer. I've been in London for 8 years. And just basically started with the glassware, started with Christmas where I was a bit low on funds. I think it was 2017. And I had all these coffee jars that I'd been collecting and decided I'd make candle holders for everybody because I love giving everyone gifts, but I didn't have enough money to go and splurge. So made all these little cute gifts like Harry Potter style things, and I really loved it, and then thought, like, why not try actual glass paints? And kind of just grew from there, and I'm doing lampshades is the thing I'm working on at the moment. Done a few light shades. There's one in the bathroom and in my room, and that's just basically just about outline.
There's also one in my room, sorry guys.
Oh yes.
But you can get your own.
Actually, the best one's in your room because the shape really it comes out cool.
It is very cool, but we'll show you a few visuals. So I think if I can talk about your dancing shadows first, and then we'll go into the ST photography.
Okay. Because
you've given a little bit of the introduction into the glassware stuff. I think it's great that you started it doing like gifts. That, it came
just from nowhere, like just a random little idea. It was quite a cool starting idea, I always think.
Yeah, and what was so great, and obviously you guys don't know, but Shan, this house has been through many transformations, and at one stage we had a dining area in our hallway because
the dining hall.
The dining hall. And what was so cute is Shan had taken these old coffee jars that just had a nice pattern on them and put them out, and she's like, oh, look at the shadows. And I always feel like I was a little part of that moment where it was like, oh, that looks really cool. And then it all happened. But she's so cute about that stuff. So she's a very creative human being.
And it goes to show if you just kind of carry on with things that you think about, it can lead to something completely different. It wasn't something I'd spent any time thinking about making candle holders or lampshades. It wasn't anything I ever considered, and then just out of giving gifts, it's now turned into something completely different. So
that's why I think it's so cool how, and obviously this is the lovely background of most of Shan's stock. So if we talk about photography, how did you start in photography? Has it been a lifelong thing for you? And
I've always always loved taking pictures, and Mommy always really thought I had an eye for it, and she bought me a camera a few years before I moved to London and bought me a little course and everything, and it was felt all cool going into my Nikon little university thing, not university but course place, and it was really cute, and just from then kind of grew into loving it more and more. And I've done a few weddings, which was awesome to be a part of, but it's not my type of, I don't take much enjoyment for my passion from it. It kind of takes away from my passion, so I prefer more nature photography and on the sidelines of people, when people don't notice I'm there. That's the kind of photography I like.
Yeah, I must say, in being sort of a part of your wedding photography side, I'm kind of got a bit snobby. Now I just want to be with Shan photographing the couple because you get all those intimate moments. But by the 13,000th photograph of Uncle Bob not smiling at the table or Grandma blinking, it's a very, I could see the strain that it took on you, even though you're phenomenal, and we've only done close mates, which has been a really nice thing to do.
Yeah, and I really, really enjoyed doing it, definitely. Yeah. It's just, I didn't really touch my camera for anything that I would have normally done
Yeah.
for like 6 months afterwards. It would just, like, people say do what you love and find your passion, but with some things, like, just keep it as your passion, because it can be taken away. Like your godfather who does sailing, like he says he used to love sailing, but now he's done it for so long that all he does is looks at people when they're doing things wrong and, like, you know, looks for, just not, you know, it's not like a positive thing for him anymore. It's work. And his passion was kind of taken away, and that resonated with me with my photography as well.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, I think we had a blast. It was awesome to learn and to actually try to do it, like you say, try to turn your passion into a thing. And what's great is understanding where your limit is creatively, because it was sad to see you sort of put your camera down, because it takes a lot, because you are emotionally connected. Maybe it's easier if you don't know the people actually, but because you know them, you know, you've got all their memories in your hand. It's very stressful. You don't want to lose any of it. So that's important. And what I think is so great is if you get left alone with an animal for an extended length of time, the photographs these animals allow you, like, you get so close, and to, like, things not always should be so close to, but I think you have that patience. You also have it very much with children, which is amazing, and I think that lends you incredibly. With Elijah, you have infinite patience for him, and kids take to you quite a lot. I'm like, hi, and they're like, nah, go to Shan. I'm like,
that's just a different story, but nice to know.
But you are good with children. I think that kind of love that you have with animals and it gives you that patience to get those beautiful shots, because sometimes, you know, there's often times where we'll be walking and we have to stop a lot of times for Shan to get the photograph, but when we go home and, you know, she put them up on the screen, we'll look at our day or whatever, it's so worth stopping over and over and over again to appreciate what you do, because it slows me down, it makes me pay attention to what's around me, and you know, I could quite easily go get lost with you somewhere, because it's you're quite chilled and you are looking for those creative things, which is what's so cool about going around and figuring out spaces with you. I really enjoy it. It's very cool.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. And now, so how have you sort of had to work alongside doing your art, and how do you fit it in? How have you prioritized your creativity over your work?
So a few years ago we went sailing, and after that we wanted to start some kind of travel something. So we started a travel Instagram, and it was ideas of like taking people on holidays. There was all sorts of different ideas for how we were going to make it happen. I've lost my train of thought. What was the question?
Working, how have you prioritized your stuff sailing?
So before that, I was working full-time hours, part-time contract. And then after that, thanks to you, I have been able to reduce my hours to part-time and focus a lot on editing those videos. And then from then it was Dancing Shadows started and the glass stuff, so I could put a lot of energy into that as well. And then Hanway also started, so it was like I had a lot of extra time to put into that, thank goodness, from working the normal kind of job, you know. But it has been all right working part-time. I don't know how people start their own companies and stuff while working a full-time job. It's hectic, man. When people say it's hard, like, it's hard. So at the moment I will then, after lockdown, I will go back to full-time just to build up some capital to get back to a point where I can spend more time on my art, and photography and traveling and all the things I want to do.
But do you think for you to be creative it was really fundamental? Because I think a lot of people want to take that leap, and I know that you've sacrificed, you know, nights out and, you know, Troy 22, thanks for sponsoring lots of Thompson nights. But is it, like, has it been sort of better to let go of those nights out and those things that you really want to do to really focus on this? Because I know you've taken everything from the branding, the PR, you're doing everything on your own for Dancing Shadows. So have you... Oh, I've lost my train of thought a bit. Oh, no! Has it been worth the sacrifice of, going retail shopping and, doing all that stuff just to make sure that,
Definitely.
you can be at home?
I could look back on, try and remember times I've been shopping and enjoyed it and stuff, and I can maybe think of a few, but like if I look back over the last few years, also with partying and stuff, I partied a lot when I was younger, a lot. And like eventually it just kind of starts blurring it all into one night and it's all the same thing. It's still fun.
Yeah.
But when you try and remember things, it's like nothing actually stands out. Whereas when I've been doing this stuff, like there's a lot of stuff that stands out, and positive and like negative, but in a good way. Like you always take lessons from the negative shit. But yeah, it has been worth the sacrifice. I do miss traveling. So like, it has been about three years since I've been properly traveling. And 4 years since I've been home, so it almost 4 years. I'm lying, it's 3 and a bit. Almost feels like ages. But yeah, it's definitely been worth it.
I don't know what's happening there. Let me just turn this phone
It might be
silent.
the dude who's doing the gas.
Yeah, great. Fuck, you guys need to know that. Okay, brilliant. So if we talk about so far, I understand that, your photography has become more of sort of a hobby for you. Sorry about that. With Dancing Shadows, what's been your proudest moment so far? And then with S2 Photography, what's been your proudest moment?
Proudest moment with Dancing Shadows was probably at the wedding that I did some candle holders for, our friend's wedding, Candace. She's also from South Africa and has a deep love for Africa. And she wanted an African touch, and I did these candle holders with animals and African trees and African skyline with the sunset colours. And there was one on each table, and when you like stood back and looked over the whole room, like it really did add an African feel to it, and like it added so much colour, and it was just really, really nice to stand back and look at something that someone had commissioned from me and that it actually did what I'd set out for it to do,
Yeah. No, that was a really, really beautiful wedding. And, the way that brought to each table, because each one was individually done. You can see more on, I think I posted the lion one on the Instagram story for Hanway today, so go and have a look, because they're all so different. And I was part of that agonizing, what do I do? Is there colour? Is it black?
I was painting till that morning, the morning of the wedding.
Oh, that was horrific. I think I went to bed at 2:30 after painting everything else, and she was still painting until like 6.
Yeah, finished at 6 and then had a half an hour lie down and off we went to get ready.
Yeah, that was a very hectic day because it was just like no sleep. So it was a great day, but like if you've had no sleep from the night before, it's like, huh?
Yeah, everyone else was helping set up and stuff, and I was like, no, I'm painting, leave me alone, leave me at the house, bye.
Yeah, that was quite cool. Like, no, you guys, off you go. Okay, and then, so if we talk about your proudest moment with ST Photography.
Probably sharing the videos of the weddings, because after each wedding I did a little video compilation and with some music and stuff, and sitting with the people when they watched it was really, really lovely. Like, it was nice to see that the pictures did move them, and
they were
they were happy with them, and it was a really nice feeling.
Yeah,
Definitely.
They made me really emotional because obviously, like, I get to be part of that whole process with Shannon.
Oh, she was my photo bitch. We were taking photos. Where was it?
In the one with Laura.
Yeah.
In Lancaster, and we got all the
coast.
We got all the way out to the end of the pier, and Shannon looked at me and she went, "Oh, I forgot the tripod." And I smiled and I jogged my ass back to the hotel in my wellies, and it was very, very cool.
I was very happy to have her.
I'm a little bit bossy as well, guys. I don't know if you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. When it came to the crowds and getting all the group pictures, I wouldn't have been able to have done it without Rickylee. Honestly, I just would have been like, bye, I'm out.
Yeah, people don't like to
listen.
So you have to be, and every time I've looked at a wedding photographer and their sort of person, I've been like, oh, calm down. And now I'm like, yeah, no, we need to shut up and get over there quick. Oh no, those have been great memories.
Yeah,
very,
definitely.
very cool. And now, on the back of the sunshine, what's been your scariest moment? We'll do dancing shadows and then... Or your most
Just
apprehensive?
Probably the times where it has been really difficult not making much money and spending so much time doing cool things, but nothing really coming of it in the sense of money. But I've taken so much from it that I don't at all regret any of it. But definitely there's been some low points where it's just been like, fuck, this is like hard. And you see when people say like people give up because it is hard, and then otherwise everyone would be doing it, you know. It is hard to do your own thing and make it happen. Some people get lucky and they know the right people, but otherwise it's tough. So that's probably been then.
Do you feel like you're proud that you got through those moments though, and what were the things that got you through those moments?
Just knowing that this is something really cool and I want to do it, and like just knowing that I'm not going to give up. It's just, I'm in it. Like, you know, it's just like, oh, this fucking sucks, but I'm going to get over it.
Yeah, you are kind of stubborn when it comes to like, what? I will do this.
And then for photography, was also just after the weddings, not wanting to touch my camera for the things that I would normally like go and take a picture of a bee and like play with the zoom. And I've got this cool picture in my room that I like spun the zoom while I was taking the picture of the flower, and it's like all zoomed in. It looks like a picture, like a painting. It just was a bit of a downer with that. Like I realized, oh damn, I maybe can't make as much money as I thought I could off of this, because it just takes away from my love.
Yeah, that was kind of hard to watch. And it's also like when I think of those moments where I feel low creatively, like I remember and I think, well, I know when Shan was sad and when this really sucked and she was still painting till 4 a.m, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, to get things done. And it is so nice on her phone. It has a specific noise when she sells something. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And it's such a sense of achievement. But it is, like you say, it's really, really hard for people starting their new things, trying to take care of what your brand looks like, what your social media, you're running a whole social media alongside it as well, which is the reason people have social media managers, because it's a proper skill to have. But, you know, you take a lot of Hanway Collective's main posts. I don't touch that wall, guys. I won't do it. I'm like, Shanna, can I have? And I was allowed 3 to talk about life drawing and these. But what's so great is I can look at what you do and implement that on my page and keep that consistency. And, you know, you're running all of that stuff, and it's a lot to undertake, and it can be really overwhelming. Like if I come to edit some videos, by the second or third video, I'm sick of my own voice. I don't want to play anymore and I want to go home and lie down. So it's really hard to motivate, and to see you, you know, and I know that you're disappointed when you can't go traveling. But I see that you spend any of your spare money on paint and getting to your next thing and trying to, you know, hustle something on the side to get more paint. It's really, because you need that time. So your sacrifice, I understand it, you know what I mean? And I know that it sucks, because I've had times where I've had no money and it's like, I love that our home is beautiful, because it would suck if it wasn't.
Yeah, thank goodness.
But it's made a big difference to be able to stay home. Or Troy 22. Thanks, guys. But okay, so if we talk now about the pandemic that's happening all around us, how are you feeling about it, and how is it affecting your brand and your work in general?
Well, I've just kind of taken a bit of a break from everything, because I needed just to clear my mind, get my soul back in check, and I spent a lot of time in the garden, maybe like 3 weeks just solid gardening, even threw my back out for a few days. But just really, like, I took a lot of small lessons from that as well. Like, I was doing the sides and the flower beds and turning all the soil and stuff, but I kept thinking about the middle and how I wanted to do the middle part of the garden. And I was like, I'm not there yet. Stop thinking about the middle, and I can't do anything about that now. Like, focus on what I'm doing now, finish it, and then think about that. And, like, I'm taking little transferable lessons from something like that, and even things like slowing down when you can't actually make a difference by rushing. So my mum Mummy's broken her toe before when she's rushed inside to go and get something out of the oven, or just something that she wouldn't have made a difference if she had run or not. And she broke her toe on the sofa. And I took a lesson from that as well, to like just slow down. Things like run in the bath. If the bath is, you've left it and you've forgotten about it, don't run to it, just walk up to it, turn it off. Running to it isn't going to make a difference. So I've taken those things and like taught myself that I mustn't worry and stress out about the things that I can't have now, I can't do now, I can't, things that I can't make a difference with now. I'm focusing on the things I can change in my present. And that was making myself more happy again, getting into a good space during this lockdown, which the garden did that for me, definitely. I'm feeling more motivated to get back into social media again because I took a bit of a break from that. Yeah, so the lockdown has kind of treated me quite well, actually.
Yeah, no, it sounds horrible to say because obviously there's so many people that are in a terrible place. But, you know, I had about a month where I sort of just slept and didn't do much and was really, really just trying to adjust to not having to go into IKEA every day, and, you know, just having you at home is wonderful, but I'm used to sort of 600 people a day, and it's like such a culture shock. And then to be having such a good time, you know, being able to focus on the things that we haven't had time to do before has been really, really important. And like, it's been wonderful that, you know, the garden is the byproduct of your freak out, like, yes, Shan, keep doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's so important to have this creative space. And how have you felt since being able to have a studio in your creative life?
That's awesome. To be able to, like, separate where you are all the time and have a place where it's completely just where your creativity or your creative things are, so all your stuff that you want to do and you think about doing is all in one place, so it's easy to do, because we so often make excuses of, oh, it's like packed away, or like, you know, I'll do it later because it's a bit of a mission.
Yeah.
And to have a space where everything is there all the time and it's just like, go in and do it. If I need to take pictures, I've got a little portable box thing that I can take out, and it's so easy. Before, I had these big tripods with these lamps, and it was a mission to take pictures of my glasses and the stuff I was selling on eBay. But having all these things that we've accumulated over the years, like the studio, the different, I mean, we've got so many different types of paints, so many different art equipments, it's ridiculous, but it's awesome because, you know, we have the space to use it, and yeah, we're getting better and better at actually using it.
And how do you think this is something that you will always try to keep wherever you stay? Because I know that for
like
you and I,
space.
Yeah, for you and I, it's been so important to always have a garden. We haven't always been able to have a studio. It's only been the last couple of years. But for me, this space is so important, even to just come sit in here and do a few emails, stare out the window, not be in my bedroom. Because for me, yeah, it was getting to that place where everything's in my room. I live here, I entertain here, because it's, you know, I don't, you know, front room we have a studio, but in a studio we can even bring people here, and it's a nice space to get away. So do you think you'll always fight to keep a creative space whenever you can?
Definitely. Garden and a creative space, and if I can't have a creative space in the house, I'd stick one in the garden, a shed or something.
Yeah, I think it's fundamental if you can, because it's so important to have somewhere to go with purpose instead of trying to, you know, you can section out your room. I think you do that really well, where you have a little lounge area and you have your you know, your bedroom space. But that's not always the case, you know what I mean? In a room my size, it's a little bit different because it's a bit smaller, and, you know, a lot of people have that thing. But I think trying to find a studio space or somewhere to go is really, really important.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so what is it that you're working on now, young Shannon Thompson?
So I haven't started it yet. I've got the printout to see if it fits. But I want to do a world map on it's like a round lampshade, round lamp.
Yeah.
And it's frosted grey, or not frosted, sorry, but it's like a dark grey glass. And yeah, I want to do a world map and possibly, I don't know, either the Japanese water sign in the water or something. I can't just decide which parts are colour in the the land or the water. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Depends on what shadows I want to come out. So I think that would be quite cool because you can move that anywhere and have the different things shining on the wall. And yeah, so lampshades, and I do want to get back to doing light shades as well. Definitely. Some bigger ones.
And now if we talk more about the beginning part of your journey, because I think I don't want to miss any of this because you and I talk all day all the time. But I think what's been really exciting is watching you go all the way from paper and glue up to, you know what I mean? So if you could talk us through in a bit more detail the first few that you did and your process and how, you know, you've moved. Old school. But yeah, because I think that process was really, really interesting and fun, and we only lightly touched on it.
Oh, maybe not. I thought I had Barry's one here.
Oh, man.
Damn. Well, yeah, basically it was just with paper. I drew out what I wanted to put onto the glass, cut it out with a scalpel, which was painful, and then used PVA glue to stick it onto the glass. And yeah, it obviously didn't last as long as proper paint has been lasting. But yeah, it came out really cool, the different ones I did. I did a Tottenham Hotspurs one for our friend Barry. And that was also painful because I'm a fucking Liverpool supporter.
LFC.
But we love him, so... And that's real love. That's real love. And did I do you one?
No, Amanda.
I think you may have actually gotten a bought gift that year. Well, look at the amount you have downstairs.
Yes, no, I have my own literal cabinet of dancing shadows that I'm very lucky to get as gifts and things. I know, I love them. They're amazing. So I think what's also key to discuss about dancing shadows in a bit more detail is your obsession with sustainability. And I think a lot of people that know you understand how passionate you are about upcycling and not letting anything go to waste. But if you could just talk us through sort of your business sort of ethos when it comes to sustainability and how you try to contribute to that.
So I just try and reuse a lot of different glass jars. So coffee jars, Douwe Egberts ones are the best. I love those. But I've also started trying to cut the tops off of glasses, so that part that's got the part that the lid connects to make it more like it's just a glass. And I haven't gotten to the point where I'm sanding that, but I still need to try that out because that'll obviously broaden all the different types of glass I can use. But yeah, it's just trying to reuse as much as I can. I do buy the wine glasses and the champagne glasses, but I also go to charity shops quite a lot to get vases, any different type of glasses that looks quite unique and stuff to paint on. And then also all my packaging is recycled, reused from packaging that I've collected over the years. There's packaging all over the place. There's a cupboard full here. There's some that's going into the loft. My friend Barry also collects loads and loads of bubble wrap and stuff from work. So yeah, I don't ever buy any packaging for it.
Oh, a big shout out to Sam Kiernan from work, because every day that I would go in, every third or fourth day, there'd be a bag of glass for Shannon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thanks! So
it's
thanks,
awesome, yeah.
And Nick, everyone who's contributed.
People who have been collecting glass, honestly, they must all think when I'm leaving the office with the cling, cling, cling that I'm an alkie, but it's just like, no, everyone else is an alkie. They're giving me all their glasses.
Yeah, no, there's just sauce jars all over the kitchen, and then there's half-cut bottles and everything. So I think that's also really fundamental to understand that you didn't have any money. Like, this beautiful idea and everything sparked from you trying to give something beautiful and creative and fun, and then it's just developed. I've seen how many times you've I've lost my train of thought. How many times you've agonized over, you know, is this the right paint on 3,000 websites, and trying to ask me things I know nothing about, but I'm trying to be there for you. So it's really, I don't know, how do you, I don't know, how do you make any excuses when I sort of live with someone that has made it from like free upcycled things. The only thing you pay for is your paint, which to be fair is covered in the cost of sort of what you sell a lot of the time. And you've had to practice, because what's fantastic, I have to share a little story. Once Barry, our friend, walked up to me and he's like, she's gonna have to mess it up. And I didn't know what he was talking about, and I was like, what does she have to mess up? And he's like, the candle holder. Look, it's too good. It's bloody perfect. And I was like, she spent hours, days, hours, months trying to perfect it, and you're standing there going, oh, you just need to mess it up. So that did make me laugh, because I know that she didn't just pick up that tube and it was perfect. You know what I mean? I've seen
it's a lot
hours.
of patience. And a very, very steady hand, often holding your breath without realizing, and then you get to the end and it's like, oh, thank goodness.
What's been your most fun design to come up with or gift to give when it comes to your glassware?
Probably the one for you with the sharks and our dad scuba diving, and then also the light shade has us scuba diving in there when I think I was maybe 12.
I think you were
just
even
before
younger.
you came here, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a couple of years. No, it was 18, yeah. So you were 11.
Yeah.
Baby Shannon.
So yeah, that's a really cool one. And then also the wedding ones, I really enjoyed those. Like, first it just started with the black outlines of the animals and then coloured them in black, and that looked beautiful. And it was like, oh my god, am I going to screw it up by putting colour on? And then when the colour got on, it was like, yeah!
And then if we talk about that a bit, because I think what's always so interesting to me is when an artist decides something's done. How agonizing was that process for you to look at something and know, okay, that one is... Because they're all different. Some are black and white, some are black and white with a bit of colour, some are mostly colour with a bit of black. How was that process for you?
All of them, I kind of had an idea at the beginning of what I wanted to look like. Wanted them to look like. Then the idea kind of changed and then went back to the original idea. The only one that I kind of really ummed and ahed with was the lion one, whether or not to paint the colour on both sides, but you told me not to, and I was really happy I didn't, because the shadow comes out really sick.
Yeah, no, and I think what was funny at that time is I was trying to tell Shan, please don't put colour on, and I felt like she was looking at me going, I'm happy to put in the work, but don't try to give me a shortcut. And I really, I legit wasn't, but I could see the agony in your eyes, like, what do you want me to do? I've done a lot of this, can you help me with this? So that's been really cool. And how have you found joining the Hanway Collective has been for you as an artist?
Oh, it's really awesome to just be a part of people, like surrounded by people who are just so enthusiastic about what they do and just so driven. It's really, really motivating and inspiring, and it's been a really good ride. Ups and downs of fighting with people in the lift of the tube station who have just like literally tripped or / kicked my bag that's full of glassware, and there's been some tough times getting all those things there, but yeah, it's been really great to help people, help you exhibit and to see all these different artworks, because I don't normally go to very many exhibitions and galleries and stuff. I've been to a few, but it's not something that I go out of my way to kind of do. But being a part of Hanway has made me a lot more interested in what people have to exhibit, and then
Yeah, and I just, on behalf of Hanway, as we have blown smoke up your bum all week, we are just ever so grateful to have you. You know, like, I was laughing with Vivek yesterday how some people just don't get that Shan has shit to do when we get to Troy. So she's doing, because she knows how long it's going to take. So she's happy to set you up, but no talking.
Oh yeah, Alex thought I hated him for the longest time, because I was just like... No, Alex, I'll talk to you later. Leave me alone, I've got shit to do, okay? I've got a list and I'm sticking to my list, you're not on my list.
Exactly, and I just want to thank you on behalf of all of Hanway, because you've been there at, I think, every single setup. I think bar one or two,
one of
maybe.
Veronica's and one of...
Karen's ones, I
Karen's,
think. Yeah. But I mean, honestly, I can't thank you enough. The way that we have agonized over how to pack 4 lamps and and it's been amazing. And we've whittled it down now to one small bag, and we don't really understand why on earth we went through all that pain in the beginning. But I'm very grateful to
learning and growing.
Growing and learning.
Progress is a process.
You goddamn right it is. So cool. And did we talk about what you're working on now? Yes. The map, which I'm very excited about. But what's exciting as well is that you work doing commission things, and I think the process between an artist, I think I've driven Berenice slowly to distraction with my jacket I've commissioned from her.
Oh, I would kill you if I was her.
I definitely am going to get killed one day by this poor lady, but it's been so exciting to have a designer and a creator that's so open to my ideas and has been so accommodating. And bless her, maybe she's rolling her eyes to right the back of her skull every time I text her something, but she never makes me feel like I'm overstepping. How has it been with you, and how do you enjoy the customized stuff?
Everyone just keeps leaving me to my own kind of, like, they give me an idea and they're like, don't really care how it's done, and then they're really happy with the results. So that's just kind of done my own thing, and you know that because I keep coming to you going, is this nice? Is this a good idea? So yeah, it's nice to have that kind of freedom, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, good. No horror stories so far.
No, not at all. Even with Candace, she didn't care how I was doing. She's just like, just like animals and things. I was like, okay, cool.
She was well happy with them.
Yeah.
I think she bought 5 of them, didn't she?
4.
Yeah.
Another lady bought another one, and Artie bought one.
I mean, they're just beautiful. They really are stunning. And what's been sort of, when you look at taking your dancing shadows and your products to a marketplace, maybe it's online or it's physical market, like, what has been something that's made you most apprehensive about? Is it like pricing, catalogs? Like, where's been
everything.
Cool. Do you want to elaborate on everything?
Well, last year it was like a great idea to try and get into a market before Christmas. So yeah, I painted a load of things. I mean, but I didn't have an idea of how long it was going to take me, so I couldn't really apply to go into a market without knowing if I'd be ready with the stock. And then that was kind of left a little bit late, and I'd spent all this time painting all these things that I hadn't actually made any catalogue of. I hadn't put them online. And what?
Vasco, you're a trump.
Something there.
You can paint my cup any day, babes. Listen, you. Back off, Gumedi.
Yeah, and just getting all of that stock ready, and then not actually, when it came down to it, not getting any responses from the people who set up the markets, and then thinking about trying to actually sell my own stuff is like, when it's really hard to sell your own stuff. I just want to give it to people and be like, okay, you like it, there you go, have it. You don't like it, throw it in the bin. It's hard to sell your own stuff. So I think the idea of all of that also is just very overwhelming and very hectic, and then I was just didn't really want to paint anything after that. So yeah, market for now, I need to maybe collaborate with a few other artists and do it with them, and they sell, like, it was an idea we spoke about in a Hanway meeting, and the other person sells your stuff, you sell the other person's stuff, so you're a little bit disconnected, and you can, really get sucked into selling someone's stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way. Like, I exhibited with a more experienced artist my first exhibition, so I could take that heat off a little bit. And like you say, we discussed, I can go to the end of the earth for someone else's stuff. Like, it's $2,000, done. I don't then walk away. My own stuff, like you say, is just have it. Have it all, and I don't care what you do with it. So it has been great to keep us focused, and having learned, as you say, progress is a process, and we're learning as we go. So the next thing that you're working on, if I'm not wrong, is the catalogue, right?
Yes, so I'd like to do like a catalogue / portfolio of all the different glasses I do and the different designs that are available and stuff.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, just to be able to also show people a full, proper catalogue of everything. If I do speak to any event companies, that's kind of the the next step that I also want to do is start messaging people who set up events like weddings and big birthdays where people splash lots of money at things to just look pretty. So I'll see what happens there.
When is it going to come back? When is it going to be normal?
Yeah, exactly.
So how long have you been in London, and are you trying, is this in hopes to be able to work more remotely? Because you talked about the love of travel before. So how did you come to London, and where's sort of the next sort of goal where it comes to traveling?
I just kind of felt like I needed a lot more when I was in South Africa, and I was always waiting for somebody to come traveling with me for a couple of years. And then my mate had a boyfriend and she didn't want to go yet, and then another mate was like, oh no, she also started dating someone and she didn't want to go, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes. So I put it off for a little while, and then when I was 20 I was like, no, I'm going. And my mum was like mommy was even sad that she's like, well, you got to have your 21st here, can't you stay like 6 months, 7 months and like have your 21st with me? I'm like, no, I need to leave, I'm going. So I felt a bit bad about that because she was looking forward to, I think, embarrassing me with all her stories. Big 21st birthday in South Africa is always a thing. But yeah, then I thought, traveling would be easy from London. You were here, it was an easy way to kind of start off, and came here and then did some traveling, but just ended up kind of staying here because it is a really good base. I had a really good job with IKEA as well. And yeah, it's still definitely in the works. I'd love to live a life where I can paint things and do all artistic things and make money off of that stuff, and then spend a period of time traveling and then come back and do the same thing over and over and over again.
Cool, yeah, because I think that working remotely is a fantastic thing about being an artist, is that your creativity goes with you everywhere. And like we spoke a bit with Marv about, working, you're traveling, if it's something that you love, doing your projects that link into that traveling, I think is something that's, like, it doesn't need to be super expensive to travel. If you book it in enough time and you know what you're doing and where you can stay, I think there can be a lot that can be done. And you're such a simple creature, bless you. That's Shan's easier. Sunday morning, I tell you, people. After coffee on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe 2 or 3 coffees sometimes.
She's getting there, guys. She's getting way better. Growling is now words. We've moved on leaps and bounds. But now we come to the point of my absolutely favorite question to ask people. And I'm really excited to ask you because I know about the dreams and the plan. But what if there was no money, no restrictions, nothing? What would be your artistic utopia or dream, or what is it that you'd love to do?
Probably just have a warehouse on a big property with a lovely little house as well, and lots of animals on that property, and just a big warehouse that I can do lots of different glass things. So I'd love to learn how to blow glass. Sorry. Don't say anything, Vasco. And yeah, just somewhere where you can experiment with things, where you can hang things from the ceiling and throw paint all over the place and have wires all set up, and yeah, just somewhere where you can create all sorts of different crazy things. But I'd also definitely incorporate traveling into that and surround myself with animals.
Yes, and it would be like Noah's Ark, just with a warehouse and a small home.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very good. I can get on board with that. We'll have the lot of all the other Hanway stuff down the road so you can pop in for tea. Okay, cool. Well, to be fair, I mean, I've covered everything that I would like to cover. Does anyone have any questions for Shan that they'd like to pose? Or I'm then just going to go into a little bit more detail about some stuff I want to know after that. So we'll give you a couple seconds.
Dun, 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 dun.
Anyone? Do you all know her enough not to need to know right now? Okay, very good. Then I'll carry on. So just for the last few moments, I feel like I want to know more about when you because Shan does these beautiful paintings as well, and if we've discussed all the photography and the glassware, your gift giving is phenomenal. It's fantastic. It's amazing. You're always so thoughtful, and you've painted me something. And Amanda, how do you come to those ideas about those paintings, or what is it that sparks a creative gift from you?
Just, I don't know, it was just the picture that I painted for you was like an iconic photograph from our holiday in Greece, and I mean, that holiday really just changed our mindsets about a lot of things. It made us do the sailing trip, and yeah, it was just meant something a lot to me, and I thought you would really love it, so I painted like a kind of cartoon style. Well, I don't know what style it is, but...
Oh, it's Shan style. It's so cool.
And then the thing for Amanda that I did was just a sketch I had drawn of a unicorn or something looking out over a river, something else. It was just very random.
Can I just interrupt and tell you, Shannon and Amanda's character on Skyrim is called a Manon. So when she's talking about unicorns and fields and stuff, it totally fits into their friendship, just so you guys have some background, because they're weirdos.
Yeah, and we were a bit stoned, and we were talking about this drawing, and we were imagining it as her cat standing in the field, and yeah, it just turned into a thing that I had to paint that for her. And then like with Artie, I painted her a lion's face, because she just really loves lions and like wild cats, and she is a little wild cat.
She is.
Yeah.
A little lion.
So yeah, that's just kind of it. And I mean, with school, I hated my art teacher. I absolutely hated her. Even saw a post the other day on my Facebook come up on my memories that said, "Oh, I hate my fucking art teacher." And I don't like using the word hate, but obviously I really didn't like her. It was the same one for 5 years, so that wasn't great for my school art kind of career or whatever. And yeah, we didn't do any art theory ever, so I don't really know much about that. She'd hand us a little booklet before each test and be like, yeah, study. And, you know, I didn't study. I got 3% for art one year. Like, I really hated the way that she taught, because it was always so rigid, and she was like, this is the idea, you must do it like this, you can't sway anywhere. And for me, that's not what I enjoyed doing. My creative style just kind of is random things, and I don't have anything specific that I want to stick to. I just want to throw all the ideas at the page, or do it in a different style. But she just never allowed that kind of stuff, and I kind of hated art in school, which was quite sad, because I've always been super creative. Primary school, I loved it, but it's amazing how a teacher can
kill you.
Yeah, it can really. Also with biology, I did nothing in one of my biology years, and the next year I got to a good teacher, and I was all gassed, but I had no idea what the fuck was going on. But yeah, anyway, that just popped into my head.
And do you think, because I think they're beautiful, you have a real skill when it comes to even just your mandalas, the things that you create. Do you think later on in life you might consider doing more painting in a serious way and exploring that as an artist? On the canvas, not on glass.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd like to play with all sorts of painting on fabric and loads of different things. I'm trying to get a little bit more focused on kind of focusing on one thing at a time, because I have made the mistake of doing too many things at once and then not actually getting anything done. So yeah, definitely I'd love to do more painting, more drawing. So it's nice to do the Sunday life drawing sessions with you guys as well. Just to make myself do a little bit of drawing, because it kind of does get lost in everything else that I have been doing.
Yeah, I can't believe my progress over these last few weeks. I really can't. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm selfish. I'm so happy that we run one in real life, and feel free to join us on a Sunday if you want to just DM. But it's been great to even see you drawing more. Do you know what I mean? Because I know that it's not something that you go to instinctively all the time. It's when, I'll often walk in your room though, and you'll be having a little sketch, you have your music on, and you'll be like a whole movie. You're walking in and she's doing something creative and stuff that stimulates your mind, not just pretending for the gram. So that's really nice to see, but I would love to see when you have more time to express through that, and And the thing is that you don't really share a lot of that stuff. You share more your photography and the dancing shadows. So it's been so amazing to see how that's progressed. You know, the other day, I think in 2007 or 8, when Shan was only wee, she made me 2 really beautiful pictures with like an African mask and a talisman. And I'd literally had them all like protectively wrapped up in plastic for years and years, not had them out, and went through a whole overhaul, and now I have little Shan up on the wall. But it's really cool to look back and see, even at that age, you know, you had a command of perspective. You even crumpled all the paper and made it dirty, and it's like so cool. And to know that you were capable of that at such a young age, and to see what you're producing now is just so exciting to see the future for you. I'm very happy to be along for the ride and part of Hanway with you, so it's really, really cool. But yeah, and I don't really that's all I wanted to know.
Excellent.
And there's nothing that you have asked, so we're gonna end this wonderful week of Hanway with Shan, and thank you so much for taking your time today to join me, Shan. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
No problemo. And you guys have
thanks for joining, everyone.
Yes, thank you very much for persevering with our terrible technical difficulty this morning. But yeah, thanks so much and have a great day, everyone.
Yeah.
Arrivederci.